Hello everyone and welcome back to Storytime with Gemma. Today we'll be reading my first 5-minute fairy tale, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Once upon a time, in a land far away, a queen gave birth to a beautiful daughter. The girl was fair as snow, and so they named her Snow White. Sadly, the queen died shortly after the birth. The king remarried to provide Snow White with a mother. The new queen was very proud of her beauty. She had a magic mirror that told her she was the most beautiful woman in the world. This continued for several years. Okay. One morning, the queen asked the mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The queen was shocked when the mirror replied, "Snow White." The jealous queen hired a huntsman to kill Snow White. But the kind-hearted huntsman could not kill her. He spared her life and warned her of the queen's intention. Poor Snow White wandered around the forest, dazed and lost. She stumbled across a tiny cottage and decided to rest there. The house belonged to 7 kind dwarfs. On hearing Snow White's story, they invited her to live with them. Snow White happily accepted. Once more, the queen asked her mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" "Snow White," replied the mirror. Now the queen knew that Snow White was still alive. She made a irresistible poison apple and laughed to herself. This will be the end of Snow White. The queen disguised herself as an old fruit seller and went to the cottage in the woods. "Have this delicious apple, my dear," she crooned. Snow White was drawn to the ruby red apple. She bit into it and fell unconscious. Oh no! When the dwarfs saw Snow White, they thought she was dead. They couldn't bear to bury her, so they built a beautiful glass casket and laid her in it. A prince was crossing the forest when he came across the glass casket and the exquisite Snow White lying within. He was so taken by her beauty that he opened the casket and laid a kiss upon her. Say what? Suddenly, Snow White opened her eyes. The dwarfs were delighted to see her alive. The prince took Snow White to his kingdom, where they got married and lived happily ever after. The end. Thanks for tuning in to Storytime with Gemma. See you next time.